Title: The Black Echo of the Forgotten Room. The house stood, silent and spectral, against the twilight sky. Rust devoured the gate, and ivy, like dark veins, strangled the walls. It wasn't the kind of place one would approach willingly, but curiosity, that venom disguised as virtue, had dragged me there. For months, I had been following the rumors. Whispers on the internet, dark forums where people shared inexplicable experiences in abandoned places. All converged on one legend, that of a house in the outskirts, where a windowless room, known as the Dark Room, made the worst fears of anyone who dared to enter come true. I didn't believe in such things, of course. I'm a skeptic, a paranormal investigator dedicated to debunking frauds. But something in the insistence and the visceral nature of the testimonies had piqued my curiosity. I needed to see with my own eyes. I forced the rusted gate and entered the garden, covered in weeds and dotted with grotesque shadows. The silence was dense, oppressive, broken only by the crunching of dry leaves under my feet. The front door yielded with a mournful groan, revealing an even more somber interior. The air was thick with dust and a nauseating stench, a mixture of dampness and decay. Cobwebs hung like shrouds, trapping the meager light that filtered through the boarded-up windows. I walked through the rooms, each more desolate than the last. Broken furniture, scattered papers, as if its former inhabitants had fled in a panic. Finally, I found it. At the end of a narrow hallway, a door without a handle, sealed with nailed planks. It was the Dark Room. I felt a chill run down my spine, an instinctive warning. Reason told me it was nothing more than suggestion, a trick of the mind. But fear, primal and visceral, gripped me. With an iron bar that I found in the hallway, I attacked the planks, one by one. The wood gave way with a guttural creak, revealing an absolute blackness. An even more intense stench emanated from within, a smell of rotten flesh and sulfur. I swallowed hard and turned on my flashlight. The light danced in the darkness, revealing bare walls, without windows, and a floor covered in dust and strange markings. It was a small, claustrophobic space, but what really chilled the blood was the atmosphere. A palpable sense of evil, as if the place were alive and breathing. I took a step inside. Immediately, the temperature dropped drastically. The light from my flashlight flickered, threatening to go out. I felt a pressure in my chest, as if something invisible was trying to crush me. "Hello?" I said, my voice trembling. Silence answered me. A dense, ominous silence that seemed to mock my presence. I took another step. Then, I saw it. In the darkest corner of the room, a shadow moved. It wasn't a shadow projected by the light of my flashlight, but something else. Something with shape, something humanoid. Terror paralyzed me. I tried to scream, but the voice stuck in my throat. The shadow slid towards me, slow, deliberate, its contours blurred, but becoming increasingly defined. Little by little, the shadow took shape. A tall, emaciated figure, with long, bony limbs, and a faceless face, save for two empty sockets that stared at me with a terrifying intensity. It wasn't a shadow. It was a creature. A creature out of my worst nightmares. I backed away, tripping over my own feet. The creature lunged at me, its bony hands outstretched. I felt the brush of its cold, bony fingers against my skin, a disgusting sensation that made me scream. "No," I shouted, with all the strength of my lungs. "This isn't real. It's just my imagination." But the creature did not stop. It grabbed me by the neck, its fingers squeezing with superhuman force. I felt myself suffocating, my life extinguishing. Then, I heard a voice. A deep, guttural voice that seemed to come from the depths of the earth. "Welcome to your personal hell." The creature lifted me into the air, my feet dangling without touching the ground. My eyes blurred, my vision distorted. I saw other creatures emerge from the shadows, each more horrible than the last. Monsters taken from my deepest fears, from the nightmares that had haunted me since childhood. They were there, in the dark room, becoming reality. Suddenly, something changed. I felt a surge of energy run through my body, an unknown force that invaded me. I was no longer the skeptic, the rational investigator. I was something else. Something strong. I opened my eyes and looked at the creature that was holding me. I no longer felt fear. Only anger. With a roar, I freed myself from its grip. The creature recoiled, surprised. Using a force I didn't know I possessed, I threw a punch, smashing my fist against its empty face. The creature staggered backward, and then vanished into the darkness. The other creatures also began to fade, as if light were consuming them. I staggered, breathing heavily. The dark room seemed less oppressive, less threatening. The light of my flashlight, which had previously flickered, now shone brightly. I took a step forward, feeling a new kind of confidence. I was no longer afraid. I had faced my demons and had won. I left the dark room, closing the door behind me. I nailed the planks back, with the determination to seal that place forever. I left the house, breathing the fresh night air. The moon shone high in the sky, illuminating the abandoned garden. I felt reborn, as if I had left behind a dark part of myself. But as I walked towards the gate, I heard a whisper behind me. A faint voice, almost inaudible. "You will return." I stopped and turned around. The dark room was still there, dark and silent. But now, I knew the truth. The dark room didn't make the fears of others come true. It simply revealed those that were already inside you. And a part of me, the part that I had released in that place, knew that I would return. Because personal hell is not a place. It's a state of mind. And mine awaited me, always, in the black echo of the forgotten room.